Before I get into today's video, I need to fast forward to Jesus Christ's personal ministry to the people at Bountiful. In 3rd Nephi, chapter 23, after Jesus Christ had finished expounding all the words of Isaiah to the people at Bountiful and all their scriptures, he asks the disciples to bring the record forward because there was something missing in that record. And so Nephi brings the record, and in verse 9 of 3rd Nephi chapter 23, we read, and this is Jesus Christ speaking, "Verily I say unto you, I commanded my servant Samuel the Lamanite that he should testify unto this people, that at the day that the Father should glorify his name in me, that there were many saints who should arise from the dead, and should appear unto many, and should minister unto them. And he said unto them, Was it not so? And his disciples answered him and said, Yea, Lord, Samuel did prophesy according to thy words, and they were all fulfilled. And Jesus said unto them, How be it that ye have not written this thing, that many saints did arise and appear unto many, and did minister unto them? And it came to pass that Nephi remembered that this thing had not been written. And it came to pass that Jesus commanded that it should be written, therefore it was written according as he commanded. And now it came to pass that when Jesus had expounded all the scriptures in one, which they had written, he commanded them that they should teach the things which he had expounded unto them." Okay, so if it wasn't for this interaction between Jesus Christ and Nephi, well, the disciples also, we probably, or very likely, or most definitely, would not have the words of Samuel the Lamanite, which we will go over now today briefly in Helaman chapters, I believe, 13 through 15. I'm not going to go over all of that, but it's interesting to me that the Nephites, those who were in the church, they just didn't write Samuel the Lamanite's words down. But anyway, so yesterday's video was about Nephi, the other Nephi. Okay, I gotta clarify. The Nephi that Jesus Christ was talking to in Bountiful was the son of Nephi, who was praying in his garden tower. So we have a series here of juniors and seniors, and it goes all the way back to Alma in King Noah's day. So you have Alma Senior, then you have Alma Junior. Then Alma Junior had sons, and one of them was Helaman, and Helaman then had sons, and one of them was Helaman. So you have Helaman Senior and Helaman Junior. Then Helaman Junior had sons. One of them was Nephi, and Nephi had a son named Nephi, and it was that son, Nephi Jr., who was talking with Jesus Christ at Bountiful and hurrying up and getting the record of Samuel the Lamanite written down. Now, I don't know if he had all that memorized, but I suspect that Jesus Christ probably dictated those words again, because Nephi Jr. was probably just a very little kid when Samuel the Lamanite came and spoke and prophesied from the wall in Zarahemla. So I don't see how they could have written it down when Nephi was Junior was just a little boy. Or maybe they wrote it down somewhere and just didn't include it in the record. Maybe you can tell me. So anyway, after Nephi Senior had prayed on his garden tower, and the Lord gave him power over the elements, Nephi called for a famine. The people repented, and then for a period of time there was a little bit of prosperity, but then it got so corrupt again. It's that Gadiantons had spread everywhere. They had become so entrenched in the lands that it required strong men to go and hunt them down in the wilderness and in the mountains. And that lasted for many years, over the next decade. And that's when Samuel the Lamanite enters the scene, and came from his own country, wherever that was. Maybe it was up north. Maybe it was maybe Samuel the Lamanite was one of the the sons of the anti-Nephi-Lehi's who had departed the land with Ammon. I'd like to think that that was the case, that Samuel the Lamanite was among those people who went with Ammon out of the land. So anyway, Samuel the Lamanite is prophesying on the wall of Zarahemla. People are shooting arrows at him because they don't like the things he has to say. And I just want to read to you from Helaman chapter 15, a few verses, without going into everything that he prophesied. You get to do that on your own time, but I'm going to read to you verses 12 and 13. And Samuel the Lamanite is prophesying about the last days. Yea, I say unto you that in the latter times the promises of the Lord have been extended to our brethren the Lamanites, and notwithstanding the many afflictions which they shall have, and notwithstanding they shall be driven to and fro upon the face of the earth, and be hunted, and shall be smitten and scattered abroad, having no place for refuge, the Lord shall be merciful unto them. And this is according to the prophecy, that they shall again be brought to the true knowledge, which is the knowledge of their Redeemer and their great and true shepherd, and be numbered among his sheep. So that implies that there are Lamanites today, or people today in these last days, who probably do not know they're Lamanites, probably do not know that they descend from Lehi. And so the day will come when they will come to this knowledge, and there's a lot to unpack there. And I've written about this in my blog, three blog entries titled "To the Lamanites," and that's what my blog has been about primarily over the last 10 or 15 years. That's why I began my blog. That's why I have this YouTube channel, is to create an awareness in the church for our Lamanite brethren who are still waiting to be discovered and gathered. That brings me to D&C section 49, verse 24, where the Lord promises, let me see if I can find it, D&C 49, my little bookmark fell off. But before the great day of the Lord shall come, Jacob shall flourish in the wilderness, and the Lamanites shall blossom as the rose. So a lot of things have to happen before Jesus Christ comes in his glory, and I'm going to go over that in a timeline very soon when we get into 3rd Nephi, expounding on Isaiah. So when the Lamanites blossom as the rose, it's going to happen in the wilderness, and wilderness implies away from civilization. And there are scriptures about Zion being built up in the waste places, and that implies destruction. So a lot of things are going to happen before these things happen. So it's important that we familiarize ourselves with the writings of Isaiah and these prophecies in the Book of Mormon. And that's why Jesus Christ, to conclude this video, said in 3rd Nephi chapter 23, the same chapter that Jesus Christ mentioned Samuel the Lamanite, that we should search the words of Isaiah. In the first few verses, Jesus Christ commanded the people at Bountiful, and by extension us, to search the words of Isaiah, for great are the words of Isaiah.